Hello, and welcome back to Let's Play Potatoes. Today we are reviewing a game by Thundermark, a member of the Offs clan, playing on the European server. He's playing the Harugumo, which is actually quite a unique ship because it is not really a destroyer, it's not really a cruiser, it's something in between. It's sort of like a freakish hybrid of nature that Wargaming decided to introduce. And everything obviously depends on how you use it, but this ship has a very designated role of just dealing damage while being small and trying to get into those little sneaky positions that nobody else should be able to get to while dealing massive amounts of damage. Now, do notice the Harugumo is one of two ships that haven't received the AP boost, or rather the AP improvements of the general population of DDs. The Harugumo and the Kaba are the two DDs that are still in the DD category that can still take full damage from every AP salvo and every AP shell that would hit them, never mind how big the caliber is. Saying that though, I think that Harugumo still absolutely deserves taking that damage considering how the ship itself handles, what it does, what it doesn't do, and the fact that really with 30,000 HP, it can take that punishment and it can deal a hell of a lot back. Now, I do want to try and make sure that people understand these videos are meant to be a little bit of a show and tell, somewhere where both new and old players can look at the game and say, okay, maybe this is how I should do it, this is maybe how they should do it, and so on and so forth. Now, as you can notice, the first thing you should see is that Thundermark is actually got a nice big detection, 6.2 detection, and that's because the Harugumo has a big butt, which means you gotta play a little bit careful off the beginning. Now, they don't really have the option of keeping him off the cap early on, simply because there's only 2 DDs on each team, 2 destroyers, and one of them went for C and Thundermark went for A in order to try and get the early cap. Now, with him scouting the Edinburgh and opening fire, he only opens fire because he knows he can hide behind that small rock in the middle of the cap. Radar does get turned on. Question is it from the Edinburgh, which would be quite surprising? Or is it from something else that he hasn't spotted yet? When looking at the detectometer, you can see how long it takes until the detection goes away, and you can see that basically there were 3 people aiming at him. That should give him a rough estimation regarding how many people are around him. If we consider the Republic and the Edinburgh around here, and then probably being locked by either 1 or 2 of the players sitting over there at the far horizon on the H line, should give him an indication regarding how many players are here. Now, he did get the cap, which probably tells us that there is no enemy DD on the opposing team that's trying to get the cap on this side, or he may have decided to simply go away. Now, the Harugumo should try and avoid using smoke whenever you have a proper island. Just try and avoid it. You're gonna need that smoke for open water whenever possible, and for possible escape if you ever get caught out in the open. So when you can use an island, please do, and please don't forget, as much as the Harugumo has wonderful guns, truly a blessing, it also has fantastic torpedoes with 12k range, phenomenal speed, and it launches six torpedoes in a single volley with a reload that later on can reload very quickly within 5 seconds. Another volley of 6 torpedoes. So use those. Either as a deterrent from people coming near you, or to try and get kills. Just like Thundermark is doing right now, he notices that the Musashi is reversing. You can see it because the line of the indication of the torpedoes is behind the ship, therefore telling you that he is reversing. He launches a little bit forward in hopes that maybe the Musashi or any of the other ships around him will move forward a little bit. He's fully aware. He's fully aware that 12k torps are not going to be able to reach a Musashi reversing at 11.5k. But there's another Musashi slightly before, And he also knows that, hell, things change in the map. Just because somebody torps in front of another ship doesn't mean that they're not going to get that ship, or they're hoping that they'll reach magically beyond 12k. That's not the point. The point is to hope that maybe something will change and that ship will move forward. Notice he has an open fire. Smart. He wants to keep it quiet. There is another Harugumo on the edge of B, and basically he is trying to make sure to stay safe as long as possible. The main point of any person is to constantly try to, when in the Harugumo, prevent any other DDs from coming near you, especially ones that have torpedoes that are gonna be able to kill you in smoke. He's trying to find the correct position. As you can see, already a single kill for his advantage, plus 2 torp hits, 43k damage. This is just the beginning. Harugumo that's well used can collect and carry a game solo if done properly. Now there's a Shimakaze. Shimakaze is an easy kill. Harugumo should be able to take him down. You just have to keep in mind a couple things. One, there's still 3 people aiming you, and if they were smart, all of them would be aiming at him. Harugumo does use up smoke. People, please remember, smoke is not a magical carpet that teleports you to a different dimension. If you're there, you're gonna be spotted, and even if you're not, you're gonna eat torps, and even if you're not and you shoot, you can still be shot back. Smoke screen set. So we know the Shimakaze is fairly low. The Kronstadt has radar. I'm not sure if he used it or not, but considering the fact that right now he saw that that Kronstadt saw that Thundermark was walking around and is not using his radar to try and detect him, probably means that he doesn't have it. Doesn't have it, meaning he used it already. The enemy team is currently sitting on no caps, while Thunders is having 2 of them. So they have a nice big advantage. Also, they get another kill to equalize the scoreboard for 2-2. Thundermark, I'm not sure if it's a tactical beaching here or just a mistake. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt and say that it was tactical. But he does use the island as cover. He is being radared, which could be just a Kronstadt, the only radar on the team actually. So the Kronstadt is radaring and it should go away. Guys, when there's a Kronstadt radaring any of the Russian teams, the radar is fairly short. Just sit behind an island, let it pass, so you have free motion. You can move around and do what you want. Don't just run around, like headless chickens. It doesn't help anybody. You're gonna lose the HP. You're gonna be detected. And people are gonna be aiming at you. Let the radar run out. Let it run its course. Then move back out and start hunting again. Now, something that I do have to say for Thundermark's advantage in a lot of ways, he is very patient. He's very patient. He used 1 smoke so far. He's not going for those big targets. He's actually aiming for helping the team. They're losing, but he is doing fantastic work on finishing those stragglers, making sure that they don't regain their HP, on helping the team. He is actually being a very team-oriented player, which is fantastic. This is something that if you want to win, you gotta think like this. And forget about team killing, team stealing, team anything. All that is bull. It's bull. If he's going around, there's a ship that's slow. If he kills it, he's doing the team a favor. You never know what's gonna happen. A single player that survives could bring back the entire score to the opposite team. You always want to try and finish them off. So right now, Thunder is doing actual God's work by just taking off that Jean Bart. Jean Bart has one gun that's destroyed at the front. I don't know if there was a necessity to use the smoke here. I think the jump bar was turning. Also, let's say like this, something you should all know. When using the Harugumo, there we go. When using the Harugumo against a broadside battleship, always switch to AP. Your damage will go up at least 2 times fold, and you will be able to do significantly more damage. You will actually see battleships melt away. So that is a very important point. Do notice though that when the ship started turning, in order to maintain the high damage and not lose as much, he did switch back to HE, so that's fine. There is an Edinburgh very close to Thunder. He notices it, takes some damage, but in return dashes out the 6 torps. Now, something that everybody should notice: when you're shooting at a Harugumo, or if your Harugumo is being shot at, this is by the way the Hydro coming from the Edinburgh. If you're being shot at, there's something very simple with the Harugumo. Every decent Harugumo should have the skill set on the captain, allowing for maximum output of gunfire. Maximum, not torpedoes, gunfire. Edinburgh does a massive mistake, goes around the corner, eats torps, and dies, giving Thunder a very early Kraken Unleashed at the 9 minutes mark and a devastating strike. He's sitting at 94,000 damage. As you can see, the enemy team has taken BNA. Thundermark is going for the Kutsu. Kutsu is very soft shelled. You don't need to do anything with AP. HE will penetrate it all over and will finish it off very quickly. So like I was saying, you need to have the captain skills set up for maximum output of gunfire, which means that the moment that the Harugumo takes damage, the more damage it takes, the faster it's going to shoot. So unless you're going to finish off a Harugumo, shooting at it needs to be very calculated. If it's going to go and smoke and shoot at you after it's safe and sound, even if it has less HP, you're going to eat a lot of damage. You have to think through what you want to do and how you want to do it. A proper, very well done kill on the Kutsu. Even though he doesn't get the kill, he does a significant amount of damage, approximately 26k damage. Now though starts the real challenge. The enemy team has 2 caps. Thunder's team has 1 cap. They are still winning on points, but that won't last for long. And they also have less people. It's 5 versus 6. Kronstadt full HP. Very immobile targets, basically second-hand Stalingrad. Thundermark maybe being a little overcautious here. The Kronstadt wasn't looking his way at all. Maybe he could have stayed a little bit behind the island where he was and just continuously pummel shells into the Kronstadt without fear of being pummeled in return. So maybe a little bit too cautious, especially considering the fact that he got a lot of HP back. But overall, good gameplay. It seems like he wants to push forward and make sure that he is within room of pushing onwards. But now he has a lot more targets, but he also has way more people who can shoot at him. So again, I think that in this situation, I would personally find one of the islands, sit behind it, and maneuver sort of in a situation where it will allow me to fire more. And if somebody targets me, continuously move behind the island. But it would also prevent me from using my torps, just like Thunder just did. Shooting the Kronstadt, the Musashi, and the Republic. Now, Thunder knows that the single most important target in front of him is the Kronstadt. You should remember that. Any cruiser, any ship with radar should die first. The Kronstadt is right in the path of torpedoes, eats fire, eats a torpedo and a flood, seems to have repaired both the flood and the fire, but the Kronstadt is very low. Notice that Thundermark is currently aiming towards the front of the ship because he was thinking that the ship was moving forward, but the Kronstadt is actually moving backwards. When targeting a ship from the front, you want to try and aim for the superstructure. If you're aiming at the superstructure, you will do a hell of a lot more damage, just slightly above the frontal guns. Notice the superior, incredible rate of fire that the Harugumo has. He puts the cornerstone into submission single-handedly and immediately switches to AP to shoot at a broadside Republic. Notice that beautiful damage, 2,000, 2,000, 2,000. No ship can take this. If the Republic had any sense at all, he would have turned a long time ago. He would have turned away, giving Thundermark the Confederate award. There's also a Musashi coming close. The Musashi, however, is not broadside. Thundermark switches quickly to HE. The situation is 4 versus 3. The Musashi eats a chunk load of damage from the opposing team, from Thunder's Musashi on the higher ground near the E line, leaving him very, very low and allowing Thunder to take the kill. That represents kill number 7. Thunder just continuously pummeling everything inside. 3 versus 3. He's out of smoke. He's in the open. His last chance is basically to try and get the Musashi. With some torps, considering he's full HP, and both of the friendly BBs are fairly low. Montana sitting at about 50%, 60% HP. The Musashi is extremely low on the friendly team. He needs to carry this. With a single North Carolina at full HP, the enemy Musashi sitting fairly high still, 60 to 78% HP. Musashi's guns are not looking. The friendly Musashi goes down. The enemy Musashi is sitting now broadside in front of Thunder. He wants to set up a fire. He wants to try and get the fires to go in order to get the repair going just before the flood hits. Seems to be a little bit unlucky there, but he does. The Musashi eats 2 torpedoes, giving Thundermark the high caliber award. And he does take down the Musashi, giving him beautiful 8 kill game. 8 kill high caliber Confederate, a Kraken, and a devastating strike. So yeah, absolutely, on all accounts, a wonderful game for Thundermark. Beautifully done. 6 fires, 7 floods, 7 torpedo hits. Very nice RNG. Obviously, many goats were sacrificed before the achievement of this video. Montana going broadside in front of a North Carolina. Never a smart idea to go broadside, but definitely not in front of the American BB line. Never ever do that. The Azuma, the new tier 10 Japanese super cruiser that's about to come out, the new battle cruiser that's going to come out probably in the next couple of months, that's still not out to the public, being tested, is it seems to be going down a little bit. I'm not sure exactly from what. Maybe Montana shot aim with HE. Thundermark fires torpedoes to the back of the Montana, and seeing how the North Carolina was turning to the side, he thought maybe the North Carolina would try and make his way to the back of the Montana. North Carolina is going about half speed forward. He takes a big chunk of damage from the Montana. However, Montana does go down to North Carolina because he shows broadside. And you never, ever show broadside. It's just not the right thing to do. When you think about it, if you want to show broadside, stop yourself. Just don't. So right now, the only option that truly sits with Thunder is he either kills the Azuma in the North Carolina, or he caps. Now C is currently not being capped. North Carolina is sitting on the opposing side. He's gonna have to either reverse or turn completely into C. Azuma, we're not sure exactly where, and I'm not exactly sure regarding the speed of the Azuma. He could be going for C cap, and that would be the smart thing to do. But I'm not sure if that will be enough. There's a single 1 minute left on the game. Thunder seems to try and take the safe route out by keeping the cap. He could very likely actually kill the Azuma, but the Azuma could also kill him in return, because you have to remember that Harugumo takes full damage from AP. the way that Thundermark decides to take the game out is basically by taking the safe route out. He is carrying the entire team on his shoulders. No, he does not. He decides to open fire on the Azuma using the island as cover. He gets very, very, very lucky. The Azuma shoots slightly too close. And this is gonna be a win for Thundermark's team. A very narrow win, but a win nonetheless. Very good job for Thundermark. Very well done. And I'll see you guys next time.